Okay, I don't know if we are live or not because I don't see anything on YouTube.
Something like that.
Can you see, guys, the video on YouTube?
No, I don't. I think we are not live.
It's starting. Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, now it's with a little delay. So welcome everybody to the new episode of ZoukCast. As last week, I am here with my co-host DJ Nymph. Say hi, Nymph.
Hey.
So today we have a special guest, Brandon from Czech Republic. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. Nice to watch all. Well, how many followers do we have at this moment?
I think the number is 0, not right now.
I think at least 500. If not, I'm not satisfied. Let's do it, guys.
Okay, so today the theme or the subject of the episode is about the Prague Zouk scene. We will talk about a little bit about the ups and the downs and a little bit about the history of the Prague Zouk scene. So, Nymph, have you been dancing in Prague?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Why? How come?
Name, say the truth. First time we met, I remember that was in Prague, and you came to me.
But it was not the big congress. It was a smaller one. Like 4 years ago. But this one, like the 7 days. No, I haven't been there yet. I think it's too big for me. Too commercial.
Too commercial.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, Carlos asked me to DJ there, but then no, I told him no, I'm not interested.
that sounds a little bit harsh.
Yeah, I had to pay everything. I had to pay my hotel, my flight, all this stuff. He gave me only like free ticket, and that's it. So I told him, nope, not interested.
Oh, okay, that wasn't that good offer. I have to agree.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, why don't you explain to us a little bit about the history of Zouk in Prague? How did the scene begin? How did it evolve? Explain us a little bit.
Yeah, well, as maybe some of you know, we actually celebrated 10 years of Zouk, or not only Zouk, like the Brazilian dances in January in Czech Republic. So it's quite a long time, and the history, it's pretty easy. So it was Sofia da Silva who went to Brazil because she was interested in Brazilian dances. There she met Carlos, and he was so pretty, you know, and also good dancer. So she took him to Prague, and there they established the first classes. Later they opened the school, and that was the beginning. So basically like that. Of course, today the situation is different. They don't have the school anymore. Like they separated. You have more teachers, more studios, and so on. But the history was easy like that.
Okay, and how long did it take for them to organize the first congress since they began teaching in Prague?
If I remember well, the first big congress wasn't the big event. The first big event they organized. Like before, they had some small festivals. They call it like, I think, Zouk do toho, like this Czech name. And so first they organized some workshops, but I believe at the beginning they didn't teach Zouk. I mean only Zouk. It was called Brazilian dances. So they taught Poho, Zouk, Samajica Fiera, everything like in one package. Later, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years later, they opened like separated Zouk classes, and maybe 1 year later there was the first event only for Zouk. So the start was like slow progress.
Yeah. And how many people there was dancing in Prague? Not foreign people coming to Prague to dance, but local people dancing.
As I remember, like first we had the events only for Prague people, or mostly for Prague people, because also the Zouk scene in Europe wasn't that big. So nowadays the people travel a lot to different countries, but it wasn't like that years ago. And I think I know where are you pointing. So it was possible to organize quite a nice Zouk event where only Czech people came, and it was full of them. So I believe it wasn't a problem to organize even for 50 or 100 people for the whole Czech Republic. So like that.
For the whole Czech Republic, that's a lot less.
That was the beginning.
Yeah. So in your Facebook post, you were ranting about that the Zouk scene was not the same anymore, that you didn't have any dancer to work with. What has been the problem?
Yeah, well, the situation changed. So at the beginning, as I said, it was nice. Many people went to Zouk events, to small festivals, to workshop weekends, to classes, and so on. But the situation nowadays is different. Like one example, 1 or 2 years ago, there were workshops with Renata Pesania and Georgi Perez, you know, such a famous couple, and it was almost empty. And a few years ago, we had, let's say, some Zouk workshops each 3 months, approximately. Nowadays, if you want to organize something, I also wanted to organize something, and it's so difficult. Basically, you end with not being able to pay for the teachers you would like to invite, because the people are not interested anymore.
So do you think that there's a lack of interest from the local people for maintaining the scene?
Well, I don't know what is exactly the reason that the situation changed that much, but the thing is, it's not that bad. I mean, I commented quite a lot in the last few weeks or months on Facebook about the Prague scene, and now it really looks like the zombie or the Walking Dead, as you named this interview. It's not that bad, okay? Still, when you compare Prague to some different places in Europe, which have like not that long tradition, it's not that bad. But if you take into consideration how many years we have Zouk, how many teachers we have, that we have the big Prague Congress and so on, you would have some expectations, and the reality is very different.
How many teachers have been working there locally, apart from Carlos and Sophie, and now Carlos and Fernanda, and Sofia and Luciano? I guess they are working on their own side also.
Yeah.
How many more teachers there have been there?
Well, I would say we have like approximately 10 couples teaching Zouk.
That's a lot.
Changing with the time. Yeah, that's a lot for such a, well, the community is still small. Like if you have a really good party, I mean the party which is every week, you have maximum 50 people. So if you divide these people into so many teachers, then yeah.
But
so
are not the teachers working together? Are they are each one working separately on their own thing?
No, that's the point, and that's maybe the main reason why the situation changed that much. At the beginning, there was only one school, there was one studio, there was one organizer like Sofia and Carlos. And as the time passed, more and more people started to separate. They wanted to maybe teach, they wanted to organize, which is quite natural, like everyone wants to try, but for some reason people here, they want to organize, they want to teach too early, you know, without gaining enough experience, knowledge, and so on. And then you, of course, don't have the support of your teachers. So if someone separates 6 months from taking first classes from Carlos, for example, for a different teacher, and opening later his own classes, then you can't expect support from your teachers. And that's why those people want to organize their own parties. So the community was slowly separating into small parts. and today it's separated into that many parts that it's hard to organize something.
So on that subject, there was a guy that wrote a comment when we announced the episode on Facebook. He was talking about some boycott that happened on the Congress of 2014. The local people were protesting against the high prices for the parties. Did that really happen?
Well, I remember something different. Also, well, first I want to say, like, the guy said that we maybe don't know him, and he wrote like some answer hidden in the dark or whatever.
Yeah, the guy had
yeah, so anonymous new profile.
on Facebook.
I don't understand that. Like, we all know each other, and I think I don't understand people who are trying to hide. But okay, but situation wasn't like that. Situation is that the people from Czech Republic, and that's one of the topic I wanted to speak about as well. The thing is that the Czech people don't travel to festivals in general. It doesn't mean Prague Congress. Like, Antonio, for example, at your last international festival, when you went to, how many Czech people you met there?
Oh, I don't really. The problem for me is I don't really know the nationalities of the people I'm talking to, because I always talk in English with everybody. And
I understand. But if I ask about people from Holland, you would say someone. If I ask people from Poland, you would say from Czech Republic. Well, it's simple because almost no one. So with the Prague Congress, it's the same. So there was like, I think 10 people, which is not a lot, especially when it's in the same city. But when you take into consideration that the people don't go to festivals at all, it wasn't like boycott. There was some discussion about the prices, that someone didn't like it, and I saw some people like having fight with Carlos about that. But there was definitely no boycott. I remember that.
Do you think the economics has something to do with it?
The Czech people like to say that. They really like to say that we are Czech, we are so poor, and so on. But it's not like that. When I travel, I see the financial situation of different people in different countries. And Czech Republic nowadays is not the country 20 years ago. No, everyone can afford to go to a festival. So it's like you are searching for some reason, yes, and you find it in money.
Get lower price.
Yes.
Okay.
So of course the price of the Prague Congress is higher because same time you have big venue, you have really big amount of international teachers.
Yeah.
So smaller festivals are cheaper. This is how it is.
And what do you think about the scene in Prague has been like fragmentized? There's like Anthony is writing on YouTube that the scene club in Prague is fragmentized, and it's one way it's good, but what do you think about it? Because I see also the same happens in Holland, and it's fragmentizing, but a lot of beginners are coming, and the more it's fragmentized, you will see a lot of people are attracted, and different kind of music, different dancers. There is no one standard anymore. Like 10 years ago, there was like Zouk Love or New Style Zouk that was really big, but now people are coming from different style and they are teaching. How is it in Prague, and what do you think about it?
Well, there was more questions together. Well, yeah, I know what you mean. More teachers, more different styles, and it could be maybe confusing for beginners to understand what's actually going on. And also during the last conversation last week, I think it was Anthony who used maybe Chavez words about the lazy dancers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is exactly what is happening here. People who didn't study the technique enough, and they didn't have the chance to travel to see what Zouk really is, and they simply think that Zouk is something like a freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Many people think it because it's so easy to forget about all the technique and just to do this lazy Zouk. And if you don't travel, if you don't see the difference, you can be really good at the local level. And I mean, the people, they have fun. They are passionate dancers. But how do you call it in English? They are the one-eyed kings in the land of blinds. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's also confusing to have so many teachers. But you don't have that many styles in Prague. Like there is no one teaching Zouk. There is almost no one teaching Lambada or Lamba Zouk. So it's pretty much the traditional real style.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carlos, who is, a bit more like into R&B and so on.
Yeah.
So do you think that Carlos is more focused on the international crowd rather than building a local scene?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Carlos did really a lot to build the local scene. Sophie the same. I think I also did a lot. But sometimes you come to the point that you are really trying so hard. You are doing a lot for the people, organizing things, workshops, classes, doing classes for good price, giving prices at Zouk parties like a discount and so on. But the people, they don't appreciate. So then you sometimes just lose the taste to continue with that.
But do you think the level of the dancers is higher in Prague or Europe than like the rest of the world? Like I was in Moscow, the girls, women are dancing good. It's higher than in Amsterdam. You have been in during the Amsterdam Zouk Congress. You was here. What do you think about the Dutch dancers? And if you compare to Prague dancers?
In general, the average is much higher in Netherlands than in Prague. Like in Prague, we have a few really great dancers on international level, but I can maybe count on with one hand, 5 fingers. Okay, you have much more in Netherlands. The same, they have much more in Moscow, girls. In St. Petersburg, they have also guys. In Warsaw, the Zouk scene is really growing so fast, and they have great couples there.
Yeah.
So that's the point. Like here, the level is stagnating, not in the number of dancers, but because the people don't go to classes, they don't travel. It's not moving forward. It's stagnating. It's not developing, and the people who used to dance for many years, they also stop. The community is changing. New people coming. So yeah, it's like that. So the level is going down slowly.
But is that like that's your opinion, or is there some kind of statistics that you can show? Like, hey, like 2 years ago the level was higher. People used to dance in this kind of techniques, and now they are done using the technique.
I understand.
Now they are doing more contact improvisation.
No, this is of course only my personal opinion. Yeah. Because I travel a lot and I'm trying to compare. Of course, it's difficult to compare international festival abroad with the local scene. But I'm trying to meet the local dancers in different countries, and I'm dancing with them. And the thing is, some people or many people think, what do you need for good local scene? You need famous Brazilian teachers. You need famous big festival with great names. You need years of tradition. But it's not like this, and I'm really sure, like for myself, about that, because I would like to show like 3 cities or 2 and to compare them with Prague. Warsaw, St. Petersburg, like in one group, and then Helsinki.
Yeah.
In Warsaw, they started Zouk years later than Prague. In St. Petersburg, I believe the same. and in Helsinki even later.
Yeah.
In Warsaw, they never had some famous Brazilian teacher. They have now the festival, but it used to be a really small festival. Like 3 years ago, only one class at one time, so it was small. But still, the level in Warsaw is growing so fast, and now they have great dancers. Not only girls, like in many places, Moscow, for example, as you said, but also guys. And how is that? I believe for the good local scene, you need something absolutely different. You need good core. And with the core, I mean a group of dancers, passionate dancers, experienced dancers, people who are really together. They don't need to be professionals, but they need to have the taste to grow, to learn. They have to practice. Like, I don't know any good dancer becoming great just from regular classes. You know, you have to practice alone. And they have it. They have the Zouk Libre group, and more people, they practice together, they work hard. You also need to travel, because if you are only closed in your local scene, you have nothing, you have nobody to compare with yourself. So you need to travel a lot. You need to, you need to see the level at the international level. Then you can come back, and with the core you have, you can lead the scene. And then you can invite the famous Brazilians to help you. But it's not important to rely only on them. And this is something we don't have in Prague. We don't have the core. We have some personalities, you know, flying somewhere in the space. Some are good dancers, especially ladies. But we don't have the group which would lead. And it can't be Carlos, and now we have Liam Teixeira or Sophie, because they are like they live from dancing. You know, it's their job. This is something different. I believe you can't lead people this way.
So Brandon, the thing is, when I read what people were commenting to you on Facebook, everybody was saying like, "Hey, come to my place because here you can work with somebody, or go to." And I was thinking, why nobody tells him, why don't you kickstart again the local scene? So why don't you try to build this core that you are missing? In what's the problem for you to try to build this core?
I tried. I don't know if you heard. I created the project, the Prague Zouk Academy. We started with that last year, and that was exactly the intention I had. I asked my friends, the dancers who then Zouk for many years, to join, to create a group with me, and we opened classes for a very good price. And at these classes, it wasn't like a couple who teach and the students. We had the team, and the whole team worked with the students. So the people who came to the classes, they didn't have only 2 teachers. They have 10 teachers dancing with them, helping people growing faster. It was really cheap. Like we had 2 levels, each class for like €2. After that, a party to practice, and it was really successful at the beginning. We had so many people, and I believed it will be better.
So why didn't
what happened? What happened later was that the people. Well, I don't want to judge anyone. I don't mean it wrong, but when you create something, some new project, everyone is like, "Oh my God, let's do it!" And we worked a lot for that. But later, the people, they are losing the energy, and they stop coming, stop helping you, and finally, you are alone. So that was one thing. Second thing, not sure if it's only the situation in Prague or everywhere the same. If you offer something for a good price, after some time, people stop appreciating that. So because you were really cheap, people start thinking, you know,
maybe the quality is not so good.
The value. Yes.
Yeah.
And we finished.
The thing is, your I guess from what you say that you are tired from trying right now.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. So how can we, all the other scenes that we are more or less working, because we in Barcelona we have also ups and downs, and we have also this fragmentation between teachers and schools. We try to work together for some time, and then some other time we cannot work together. So, but the scene is going on, and in Holland the scene is still going on. Maybe in Brno, I don't know how is the scene there, but maybe it's still going on. So how can we, all the other scenes, help you, the Prague local scene, to keep going on and to grow?
Well, not sure what you can do for us. Anyway, it's a great offer, and we appreciate a lot. I think the Czech people, they mostly miss the experience for traveling, because at the international events, this is where you get the passion to dance. This is where we have the great experience, great weekends full of dancing. This is where you fall in love with Zouk or with any dance in general. Like classes every week, okay, you finish your work, you go there, you dance a little bit, you go home. You have party once a week, but to get a passion. So to persuade the people to travel more.
But
or
it surprises me a lot, because you also have the Zouk Prague Marathon. Like it's an event only for dancing and more dancing.
Yes.
And it's the first event of this kind of concept in the world. So I would guess, just by seeing that you have one of the bigger congresses and one of the bigger dancing events on the world, that the local scene would be interested in the dance, you know?
Yeah. But still, if there were more Czech people at the marathon, but still, when you consider that it was in Prague, it wasn't that much. So even if you offer something like this, all the people from the world come into Prague, and you have the chance to dance with them, the people just don't go there. And I think it's really because we don't have the core, the group of people who are just leading everybody forward.
Well, Anthony, you know Anthony Lee? He has a solution. He says to keep the scene growing, you have to keep the passion, you have to keep the family, and when you have like a strong family bonding, then you have to make children.
Happens sometimes. yeah, I understand. It's right.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Finish, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this was the one type of, or one way how to grow the local Zouk scene. There is also another way. That's Helsinki, and it used to be like this in Prague. In Helsinki, they have Freddy Andresa doing a great job over there, really great. I'm impressed how they are going forward so fast, but they control the situation over there. It used to be here the same when we had only Carlos and Sophie. They also control the situation. I was just a student, and the people followed them. But you can't maintain this forever. Once the people start separating, and then you have to change. So,
but the problem is separation without cooperation. Because if you get separated in different groups, but you all cooperate for one goal, that's better than just one couple leading.
How can you cooperate local people when even the Brazilians don't cooperate? Like now we have William Teixeira, almost a year here. People say, oh my God, now I have like even one more Brazilian teacher. Oh, Prague must be so great. Do you think the situation got better? No. It's maybe even more separated than it was before. So.
Okay, so maybe that's a theme for another episode, like what's happening between the Brazilians in Prague.
No. Example, nothing bad.
Yeah, I don't know. So
no, but he'll kill me when I meet him.
since we want to keep the episodes for half an hour for everything to be agile and so people don't get tired by watching us, I think we can sum up here. Like Prague, the local scene needs to grow up a little bit, to grow strong. Do you agree on that?
Yes, exactly. We need a refresh. I would call it refresh.
So maybe the lesson for all the other scenes is, guys, keep your local scene strong, or the Walking Dead can come for you.
Exactly, like focus on the work together, and especially practice together. Like practice in a living room, practice outside, whenever. But this is the only way how can you grow forward, not just depend on someone's classes.
Nice. So thank you very much, Brandon, for being with us tonight.
I thank very much you guys for inviting me, and it was a great time with you together.
Thank you very much, Niv. See you next week.
Okay, thank you.
And guys, everybody, thank for watching. Now we have 10 spectators. We hope we have some more on the offline version. And next week we will come again, Wednesday, 8:30, on this YouTube channel. It's called ZoukCast. We expect you to be there. And nothing more. Until next week. See you guys.
Bye.
Hello.
Has it ended, Anthony?
I think we're still live. At least you can say some joke.
Left.